So Mickey Rowlands recently uploaded a video defending the SJW's reaction to Richard Spencer being punched in the head during an interview. Let's take a look at what we can learn from this.
Nazis don't just hold a different belief or political opinion. They are actively promoting the idea that certain people are superior for virtue of nothing other than having a different skin color or cultural heritage from other people. And not just that, but the people who are the inferior ones should be eradicated. So yes, I am finding joy in someone with differing beliefs from me being punched in the face, but it's not just that they have differing beliefs from me, it's that if they are allowed to get their way, people will die. Many people will die, and that is not okay.
So what I'm hearing here is that we need to do something about the people who have dangerous beliefs, because if we don't, people will die. And punching this neo-Nazi in the face, or whatever the fuck you said he is a means of doing something about it, like it's going to change his beliefs. This is assuming that everything you say about his beliefs is true, of course.
And I can't believe I'm having to explain this, but some people seem to have a real trouble seeing the difference between advocating for genocide and finding joy in the aforementioned person being punched in the face. Someone actually said to me that punching Nazis is sinking to their level. I mean, no, just no. Punching someone is not morally equivalent to genocide, and advocating for punching someone is not the same as advocating for genocide, and I can't believe that needs to be said, but you're not just as bad as the Nazis if you find it funny when they get punched, or even necessary that they get punched.
I don't think the person that said this to you was literally saying that you're as bad as a Nazi if you advocate this behaviour. That would be stupid. I'd like to think that what they meant was, rise above it and don't stoop to their level.
That shows a distinct lack of understanding of both morality and the Nazis, and their whole, thing, the thing that they did.
It's worth remembering that condescending tone he just took as he spoke about people's distinct lack of understanding when it comes to the Nazis. I have a feeling it's going to be relevant very soon.
They're like the worst people ever. Except for Bearing fans. Though, there could be a reasonable amount of crossover in that area. Venn diagrams of Bearing fans, Nazis. In the middle there.
Okay, so I wasn't going to go into the whole Nazi thing, but when you suggest that there's some crossover between Nazis and over 330,000 people that you've never met, i.e. Bearing fans, it becomes something that needs to be addressed. The term Nazi refers to members of the Nazi Party, which was a German political party led by Adolf Hitler from 1921 up until the end of World War II in 1945. Here's some of their political beliefs. So the Germans believed in a living space so that the German nation could expand as they see fit. They wanted to abolish the Treaty of Versailles and have all German-speaking people united in one country. They believed in having a Führer who was a single leader with complete power as opposed to a democracy like we have. They believe in social Darwinism, the idea that the Aryan race was superior and Jews were subhuman. They believe that Germany should be economically self-sufficient. And they believed that Germany was in danger from communists and Jews, and that they needed to destroy them before they caused any harm. So I think we can agree that the Nazis were pretty fucked in the head. So assuming that what Mickey's telling us is actually true, and these are Richard Spencer's beliefs, why would you take any of that shit seriously, and not just discount him as some nutjob whose daddy didn't hug him enough? The Nazi Party was made illegal in 1945, so this guy's either a fucking time traveller, or he's not a Nazi.
So I read a really great article about the morality of punching Nazis, and I'm just going to read from that rather than, pretend that those ideas are my own.
Don't worry about that, Mick. We all know that none of your ideas are your own.
And then I'm going to link the article in the description so you can go and read it. So, we all know Nazism is evil. We know their goals. We know where their ideology leads. If you punch a Nazi, especially if you're one of those marginalized and threatened by their ideology, you're acting in self-defense. Even if you're a white person punching a Nazi, you're acting in defense of others.
Except he didn't act in self-defense, did he? Richard Spencer was giving an interview, and this guy sucker punched him in the side of the head. This is like when trans people say, it's an act of violence if you don't use my pronouns. You can't just take words and phrases like self-defense and violence and just twist them to make them mean something else. It's very dishonest. Not to mention that it's factually incorrect.
If you aren't punching Nazis, you're showing that you don't care about those who are affected by their ideology.
I genuinely believe that that is the stupidest thing I have ever fucking heard. So if I don't go around punching capitalists, which is every single person watching this video, then I hate all homeless people who don't pay taxes or help the state or the economy in any way. If I don't punch Muslims, then it means I'm all for the suicide bombings that are occurring all over Europe. And if I don't go around punching men, then I hate all women, because patriarchy and shit. Let's hear about all the Nazis that you've punched, Mickey.
It continues. Many have argued that we must be better than the Nazis and therefore we cannot punch them. I want to make this simple. A fist to the head is still the moral high ground when you're punching someone advocating for genocide.
Except he wasn't advocating for genocide. He was talking about Pepe the Frog.
What? It's Pepe's become kind of a symbol.
If you're not a Nazi, you have the moral high ground. Look, non-violence is wonderful, and if you're non-violent, stay that way. You need to. Hell, 9.9 times out of 10, I'm non-violent. Yet we need those willing to stand up to monsters.
We have those people already, mate. They're called the police. And until Spencer commits a crime, he has the right to walk the streets without getting punched in the side of the fucking head. And once he's committed said crime, he'll be arrested by the police and punished in accordance with the law.
Nazis only know violence. Their entire ideology is violence. We are not going to reason them out of genocide. We can't wait until it's too late. Physically making Nazis afraid is a moral act. They need to be scared to spread their ideas. They need to feel unwelcome in public spaces. Spencer himself has stated he feels uncomfortable now and needs to hire extra security. One punch rattled him that bad. He isn't empowered. No one that thought Nazis were bad is now seeing their ideology as justified because an activist punched him. Do you know of a single person who said, "I thought genocide was terrible until someone punched Richard Spencer"? No, this is a straw man.
Well, that's very noble, but where does it end? You have to admit that your methods could lead to anarchy. Anyone who doesn't agree with me should be punched and made to feel scared of walking out their own front door. Somehow I think that you'd be a massive victim if the shoe was on the other foot.
So there are a bunch of people who say that the left just calls anyone who disagrees with them a Nazi, and that has diluted the word so that it has lost all meaning, completely ignoring the fact that these same people probably call feminists feminazi all the fucking time.
Actually, no, I call them third-wave feminists. Third-wave feminism is deplorable, and it spits in the face of every single woman that fought bravely for the rights of women in the first and second waves of feminism.
Richard Spencer is literally a Nazi.
Again, there haven't been any Nazis for 72 years. The Nazi Party was abolished in 1945. This guy might share some particular ideals with the Nazis. I don't know. I don't particularly care. That's not what this argument's about. This argument is about someone you don't agree with, someone whose policies and political views that you don't agree with is getting punched in the head in a free country where he has the rights to walk the streets without being violently attacked.
He thinks that white Europeans are the dominant race and that they should inhabit America and all the inferior races should kind of just, go off somewhere else.
Okay, so you've just contradicted yourself. If Richard Spencer thinks that white Europeans are a superior race, then he's not a Nazi, because the Nazis believed in the rise of an Aryan race, that being a pure-blooded, perfect German who's tall with blonde hair and blue eyes. White Europeans and the Aryan race have distinct differences.
And there are a bunch of people acting all morally superior because they don't support violence, no matter who it's aimed at. Except for Anita Sarkeesian, that bitch deserves to die.
You need to stop putting words in my mouth, mate. I don't think Anita Sarkeesian deserves to die. I don't think you deserve to die either. Nor do I think anyone who disagrees with you in the street should give you a swift kick in the mouth.
And they tweet about it, and they make videos condemning those who supported the Nazi punch. Yet they're oddly silent when it comes to actual Nazis and their actually abhorrent ideas.
Well, you have to admit, there's a bit of difference between something happening a few days ago and something that happened over 70 years ago. I think we all universally agree that the Nazis were bad people. I don't think there's much room for discussion on that.
And having those ideas validated by the most powerful man in the world.
Oh, fuck me, so Donald Trump's a Nazi now. Jesus fucking Christ.
Where are all the videos condemning the actions of Nazis and their abhorrent ideas? Seems a little bit bullshit to me if you're going to call out people for advocating violence, but you're not going to call out those who advocate for genocide.
Call him out, sure. You just can't punch him in the head. Can't we just accept that if this guy is for mass genocide, then he's just another crazy person and move on? No one has to take any notice of him. I don't think you'd punch a crazy homeless person in the head who was just sat there minding his own business, yaddering on about how Jesus is in his cock.
And it seems suspiciously like the silence is coming from those people who, wouldn't really be affected if the Nazis got their way.
There are no fucking Nazis.
I.e. white people. But, you know, poning regressive SJWs is a lot more profitable than, you know, attacking Nazis.
Well, yeah, because people like to hear honest, thoughtful, rational arguments, as opposed to your uneducated Nazi this, genocide that. It's more profitable because people can see through all the bullshit, mate, and they're tired of it.
Safer, too. I mean, I'm not calling them a bunch of cowards, but yeah, that's exactly what I'm doing. They're a bunch of cowards.
Oh, right, but sucker punching someone in the side of the head when he's not looking's brave as fuck. Anyway, he just starts banging on about some other shit that's of no relevance and that I don't care about, so I'm going to leave it here now. I'll see you all later.